Electric cars may be the way of the future, but it's clear there are some problems when it comes to charging them in Chicago's deep freeze.
Winter freeze causing headaches for Tesla drivers. Some worried their batteries will run out before they can charge them because of long lines.
Several cars had to be towed last night because the batteries died while drivers were waiting in line to charge up.
I think it's a matter of time.
But it's something you think they have to work on?
Oh, they definitely got to work on it. Because I'm out of this Tesla after today. I'm not going to ride it again.
You'd rather go back to gas?
I'd rather go back to gas, absolutely.
Tesla is in the news trending again and here in my home city of Chicago, and it has made some serious noise. Here in Chicago, like many other places this last couple days, it has been brutally cold here, and because of that, these Tesla / electric vehicles in general have been being pushed to the limits in the cold temperature and have been kind of suffering a little bit. I mean, there's been so much commotion going on right now with Tesla in this city that they're even calling cars that are not Teslas, Teslas.
Yeah. But it was no laughing matter to people like Kevin Sumrack, who landed at O'Hare last night to find his Tesla dead, forcing him to hire a flatbed tow truck to try to find a working charging station.
That was a whole Audi. What was that? And I've been doing my research on it to try to understand it. I've been reading the posts, the Twitter stuff, watching the videos, and I've seen this kid way too many times.
Oh, we got a bunch of dead robots out here.
Dead robots.
It's like a bunch of dead robots. So today in this video, we're going to talk about it. I'm going to throw out all the information I've soaked up like a sponge the last couple hours. I'm going to tell you guys what I know, what I think, and what we can maybe do moving forward to kind of figure this out for these electric vehicle guys here. Now, just so you know, I am no expert. I don't even own a Tesla. I am just a car guy. I don't hate EVs. I don't have one. I am just simply a car guy that enjoys car content, and that's what I do on this YouTube channel. And obviously, this hitting so close to home, being in Chicago and making all the noise it's currently making right now, I gotta go ahead and speak out on it. But before I do that, I gotta kind of lay the foundation so you guys get on the same page as me. So from what I know and what I've read and what my friends have told me about this stuff, Teslas, they do a thing, right? So if you're in your Tesla and you see that you have low battery and you want to go to one of these charging stations, you punch it in on your Tesla GPS, right? It routes you to these charging stations, but while you're going there, while you're driving there, it preconditions the battery. It heats it up and it gets it ready to take on a charge so that when you go there and you plug it in, the battery's expecting it, it's quicker, it is able to take in the charge easier, right? Now, this is super important, right? But it's really important when you're in very cold temperatures like we've been having here in Chicago. So let's say your boy, get this Nick here, buys his Tesla and he doesn't charge it at home because he lives in an apartment because that's all he could afford because he bought a Tesla. And I wake up in the morning and I don't have a charger here at my house, but I know where the one is a couple blocks away. So I don't need to punch it into my GPS. I'm just gonna show up there because I know where it's at and I'm gonna grab a stall and plug it in negative 35-degree temperature. Now the problem with that is, in my understanding of how this all works, is if you don't do that preconditioning of the battery and get it ready to take on that charge and you just straight up plug it in, the juice that starts flowing into the car is not going to charge the battery right away. It's going to heat up the battery first, and then once the battery's at that correct temperature and it's ready to take on a charge properly, then you start getting the juice and charging up the battery of the car. I'm not positive if that's correct, but from like what I read and what I watched, that's my understanding of it. So if that's right, just could you like drop a comment? And if I'm wrong, say, hey, you're an idiot. That's not how it works. This is how it works. So naturally, that process, if you don't punch it in and you don't precondition the battery and let the car know, like, hey, we're going to be charging soon, so get ready, it's obviously going to take longer. It's going to add on a substantial amount of time for people to charge. So I think in this whole fiasco, there's a lot of people that weren't doing that. So there's a little bit of user error going on here. For example, like this guy.
I saw that my battery's getting low. It was about 25%. Battery drained down to 5%, which is faster than normal. Long story short, here I am. We had to tow it out this way.
So you mean to tell me your car was around 25% and it's freezing cold out and you thought to yourself, it's at 20%. I'm going to park it and go to bed, and I'm going to wake up and I only have 15%, and I got to try to now get to a supercharger and hope that there's not a million other people there charging as well. I mean, come on now, guys. It's like a phone, right? Your phone, it uses juice, it uses battery, and in colder temperatures, it's not gonna be able to hold that charge as long as it normally would. So why, when it's freezing cold outside like this, are you taking your car down to 20%, 30%, wherever you're at? Like, wouldn't it be a priority to you to be like, okay, I wanna make sure I keep this thing as close to 100% as possible because this weather is not in my favor right now, so let me make sure I keep this baby charged up. So then we start running into this issue, right? You got people that are taking their batteries down to very low battery percentages in a cold climate like this. Then they're pulling up to these charging stations without preconditioning their battery, and they're trying to plug in and get this thing going, but it's taking super long to charge now. And then in the meantime, you have more of these people pulling up in line, but there's only X amount of charging stations. So naturally, they have to wait their turn for this guy to charge however long it's gonna take. But on top of that, some of these charging stations are being reported as not even working, just point blank period. They plug them into their car and they got nothing going on. There's no juice, there's no battery heating up, there's just nothing.
With temperatures falling into the negative double digits, these charging ports have stopped charging.
So we got a little bit of user error there, right? We got a little bit of the charging stations themselves not working. And on top of that, obviously the number one thing we have going on here is this weather. This weather is crazy. Now it's pretty extreme, but being in Chicago, we tend to get these polar vortexes and crazy stuff like that in January and February around here. So it's like, yes, is it an extreme case of the weather being crazy? Yes, it is. But at the same time, it happens a lot more often than you think. And not only just being here in Chicago, there's other places that get way colder than this. However, you also have to remember that there is a lot of people here in Chicago. And maybe, just maybe, according to my buddy Frankie, he does not think that there's enough charging stations in Chicago and the surrounding Chicagoland area to support how much this EV segment of vehicles has grown over the last couple years.
In 2018, only about 12,000 people in Illinois owned electric vehicles. Now that number has skyrocketed to more than 91,000. So a lot of people dealing with this issue right now.
So all in all, to summarize everything for you, it's like this. We got some user error going on there with people taking their battery way too low and also not preconditioning their battery. We have charging stations not working. I don't know if that's because of the cold. I don't know if that's overuse. I don't know what's going on with that. That's something Tesla would have to answer to if they choose to. You got the cold weather not giving you as much of that battery life when you're charging, as well as you're blasting heat constantly in the cab of the car because it's been so cold, which also is digging into your battery life. And then you got this guy who's calling these cars robots.
Oh, we got a bunch of dead robots out here.
Dead.
So a lot of chaos going on, a lot of confusion going on. I don't even understand all of it. What I just told you guys is basically what I'm thinking. Is kind of like the whole, like it's a lot of things are contributing into this madness, right? And although I don't own a Tesla or an EV personally, I love cars, and I know that the electric vehicles is the future. I know that, down the line, that's going to be the whole shift, and that's what we're already doing, and they are growing at a crazy rate, and I think that's good. Like, I like electric vehicles. I think they're fast. I think it's good, not as much maintenance. Like, I don't have anything really bad to say about electric vehicles, but this is like that Achilles heel on these things, is that when it comes to cold climates like this, they are not maybe as far along as we would like right now. And I think in a sense that all this confusion, all this chaos happening right now will really help people in the future kind of sit down and think like, okay, Chicago, we can't have that happen again next winter. What do we need to do? Boom, we're going to pop up a couple more charging stations. Boom, we're going to make sure that these batteries can do something better to conserve their life at colder temperatures. No matter what, I hope that in the midst of all the chaos and all the confusion that they do something productive and proactive to fix it so that it gets better in the future. Now, obviously, with stuff like this happening, the whole anti-EV people are just eating this up, obviously. I mean, it is getting kind of brutal on Twitter. It's a bloodbath. You got people laughing about this, sharing it, saying, haha, we told you so. EVs are terrible. They suck. They'll never win. right? And I am not like that. I'm like I said, I'm just indifferent, right? But it's causing a lot of hard feelings. You guys know I had to throw in a little bit of a nudge on the thumbnail and the title just to get you guys involved and get you guys going. I'm not trying to start any drama, and I don't want you guys to be fighting like crazy in the comments. But really, I'd like you to comment and give me your opinion on it. Do you own an electric vehicle? What do you think are the reasoning for it? Have you ever had this issue before? I mean, talk to me here. What do you think? What's going on in your head? Is this something that makes you look at electric vehicles as you're putting it at the back of your mind and you're never going to be interested in it? Are you someone personally that never wants to own an electric vehicle and this is one of the reasons why? Are you thinking about getting an electric vehicle for your next car and this kind of set you back a little bit? I mean, talk to me here. Have a discussion in the comments. Let me know what you think. I just want to check in and give you guys my opinion and kind of break it down from my point of view. And like I said, I am no expert. So if I'm wrong about something or if you'd like to correct me on something, no hard feelings. Drop a comment and let me know because I'm just trying to learn as much about this as possible. So as always, thanks for checking out the channel, guys. Super appreciate it. Like, comment, do all that stuff. Talk to me here, guys. What do we think? Are EVs ready yet? Are we struggling here? Is this something we can get over? What's going on? It's your boy Get This Nick signing out. We'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.